What is the life cycle of a typical fungus such as the black bread mold, Rhizopus nigricans?
The life cycle of black bread mold, Rhizopus nigricans, is characteristic of the members of the phylum Zygomycota. This fungus has a period of sexual reproduction and a period of asexual reproduction that occurs more frequently. During sexual reproduction, there is a fusion of gametangia. The resulting zygosporangium forms a thick coat that awaits favorable conditions in order to conduct further development. When conditions are favorable, the zygosporangium germinates into a sporangium. During asexual reproduction, spores are produced in the sporangium and then dispersed.
What are some of the best known deuteromycetes?
Deuteromycetes are mostly free-living and terrestrial, but some are pathogenic. The best-known pathogenic deuteromycetes include the causal agent, Aspergillus niger, of a respiratory disease called aspergillosis, athlete's foot, Epidermophyton floccusum. Ringworm, Microsporum canis, and Candida yeast infection, Candida albicans. Some other famous deuteromycetes are species of the genus Penicillium, particularly P. notatum, for the role it played in the discovery of penicillin, P. chrysogenum, for the commercial production of penicillin, P. grisofulvum, for the production of grisofulvin. An effective antibiotic against ringworm and athlete's foot, and P. roquefortii and P. camemberti, which are used to make Roquefort and Camembert cheeses, respectively.
Which organism is known as the humongous fungus?
The humongous fungus is an enormous, underground fungus that grows in northern Michigan. The fungus, Armillaria gallica, was discovered in 1992. It encompasses 35 acres, 15 hectares, and is thought to be at least 1,500 years old. Scientists proved that the organism was a single fungus by taking 20 samples of the fungus and performing DNA analyses on 16 fragments from each sample. The genetic material of each sample was identical.
Who first proposed the kingdom Protista?
The German zoologist Ernst Haeckel, 1834–1919, first proposed the kingdom Protista in 1866. For the newly discovered organisms that were neither plant nor animal. The term protist is derived from the Greek term protistos, meaning the very first.
What disease is caused by protists of the genus Plasmodium?
The sporozoan Plasmodium causes malaria. An individual of the genus Plasmodium enters the human body through a bite of a mosquito of the genus Anopheles that has been infected by the protist.
What is the dikaryotic phase of fungal life cycles?
The dikaryotic phase of the fungal life cycle is unique. During this unusual phase, which is common in many species of fungi, cells contain two distinct nuclei. These two nuclei divide simultaneously as the mycelium grows. Growth continues until fusion occurs during karyogamy.
Which plants most commonly form ectomycorrhizal relationships?
The most common plants associated with ectomycorrhiza are trees and shrubs growing in temperate regions. These trees include pines, firs, oaks, beeches, and willows. These plants tend to be more resistant to extreme temperatures, drought, and other harsh environmental conditions. Some ectomycorrhizal fungi may provide protection from acidic precipitation.
What is the relationship between fungi and ants?
The leaf-cutting ants, found in Central and South America as well as in the southern United States, have a mutually beneficial, or symbiotic, relationship with certain fungi of the genus Septobasidium. The ants are not able to digest the cellulose found in leaves. The fungus breaks down the cellulose, a food source for the fungus, and converts it into carbohydrates and proteins, which the ants can digest. The ants then eat the fungus. The ants provide the fungus with a guaranteed food supply and eliminate competing fungi. The ants and fungus are not known to occur independently from each other.
What are the major groups of organisms in the kingdom Protista?
There is little agreement among taxonomists on how to classify the protists, but they may be conveniently divided into 7 general groups that share certain characteristics of locomotion, nutrition, and reproduction.
Which protist is an indicator of polluted water?
Euglenoids are unicellular flagellates. Many euglenoids are capable of photosynthesis and are autotrophic. They are commonly found in freshwater ponds and puddles. Others do not carry on photosynthesis and are heterotrophic, often found in water with large amounts of organic material. Euglenoids frequently serve as bioindicators and are found in large numbers in polluted waters.
How many different species of protists are known?
Biologists estimate there may be as many as 200,000 species of protists.
Which children's author studied and drew illustrations of fungi?
Beatrix Potter, 1866 to 1943, perhaps best known for having written The Tale of Peter Rabbit. In 1902, began drawing and painting fungi in 1888. She eventually completed a collection of almost 300 detailed watercolors, which are now in the Armitt Library in Ambleside, England. In 1897 she prepared a scientific paper on the germination of Agaricinae spores for a meeting of the Linnean Society of London. Although her findings were originally rejected, experts now consider her ideas correct.
How are different species of fungi classified?
Fungi classification is based mainly on the type of reproductive spore a fungi produces. If the reproductive, sexual spores of a species have not been identified or examined, the fungi are placed in the phyla Deuteromycota. The three phyla of fungi are Ascomycota, Basidiomycota, and Zygomycota. Each phyla has unique reproductive spores, ascospores, basidiospores, and zygospores. A zygospore is a large spore enclosed in a thick wall. It is the result of the fusion of the nuclei of two cells that are morphologically similar to each other. An ascospore is the fusion of two cells that are either morphologically similar or dissimilar. Ascospores are produced in a sac-like structure called an ascus. Members of the phyla Ascomycota are known as sac fungi. Basidiospores are formed on a base pedestal called a basidium. Members of the phyla Basidiomycota are known as club fungi due to the shape of the pedestal. The phylum Chytridiomycota has at times been classified in the kingdom Fungi and at other times in the kingdom Protista. Recent evidence obtained from comparisons of protein and nucleic acid sequences has suggested they belong in the kingdom Fungi.
What are the characteristics of the protists?
Protists are a diverse group of organisms. All protists are eukaryotic. Many are unicellular, but they may be multicellular, multinucleate, or exhibit a colonial organization. Although most are microscopic, some are much larger, reaching lengths of nearly 200 feet 60 meters. In early, traditional taxonomic schemes, they were united on the basis of being neither plant nor animal nor fungus. Current evidence suggests that protists exhibit characteristics of the plant, animal, and fungi kingdoms.
What are the structures present in typical fungi?
Most fungi are a mass of intertwined filaments known as hyphae that are surrounded by a rigid cell wall. Each hypha cell has a distinct nucleus. Individual cells may be separated by walls called septa. The hyphae form a radially expanding network called the mycelium. Cytoplasm flows freely throughout hyphae, passing through major pores present in the septa. Because of this streaming, proteins synthesized throughout the hyphae may be carried to their tips, which are actively growing. As a result, fungal hyphae may grow very rapidly when food and water are abundant and the temperature is optimum.
What purpose do the gills of mushrooms serve?
Gills, which can be present on the undersurface of a mushroom's cap, serve two main purposes. The first is to maximize the surface area on which spores are produced, allowing a very large number of spores to be produced. The second purpose is to help hold up the cap of the mushroom. Spores are produced in the basidia specialized cells that line the surface of the gills. It has been estimated that a mushroom with a cap that is 3 in 7.5 centimeters in diameter can produce as many as 40 million spores per hour.
Are there reliable rules to identify poisonous mushrooms?
There are no general, reliable rules to identify poisonous mushrooms. Some of the edible varieties are quite easily recognized. But some edible varieties closely resemble poisonous mushrooms and can only be distinguished by an expert. The common lore that poisonous mushrooms make silver spoons turn black, while mushrooms that can be peeled are edible, is not true. Some of the deadliest mushrooms, amanitas, do not turn silver spoons black and can be peeled. The only rule to follow is that one must be able to identify a mushroom with certainty prior to eating it.
What organisms are included in the kingdom fungi?
Members of the kingdom fungi range from single-celled yeasts to Armillaria ostoi, a species that covers 2,200 acres, 890 hectares. Also included are mushrooms that are commonly consumed, the black mold that forms on stale bread, the mildew that grows on damp shower curtains, rusts, smuts, puffballs, toadstools, shelf fungi, and the death cap mushroom, Amanita phalloides. Of the bewildering variety of organisms that live on the planet Earth, perhaps the most unusual and peculiarly different from human beings are fungi. Fungi are able to rot timber, attack living plants, spoil food, and afflict humans with athlete's foot and even worse maladies. Fungi also decompose dead organisms, fallen leaves, and other organic materials. In addition, they produce antibiotics and other drugs, make bread rise, and ferment beer and wine.
What disease is caused by protists of the genus Trypanosoma?
Species of Trypanosoma are the cause of sleeping sickness, East Coast fever, and Chagas's disease. All of these diseases are common in tropical areas. The trypanosomes that cause these diseases are transmitted by biting insects, such as the tsetse fly.
Which is more common, endomycorrhiza or ectomycorrhiza?
Both endomycorrhiza and ectomycorrhiza have the ability to be mycorrhizal fungi. In endomycorrhiza, the hyphae of the fungus penetrate the outer cells of the plant root and extend into the surrounding soil. In ectomycorrhiza, the hyphae surround but do not penetrate the roots. Endomycorrhiza are much more common than ectomycorrhiza. The fungal component of endomycorrhiza is a zygomycete. While only about 30 species of zygomycetes are known to be involved in endomycorrhizal relationships. The zygomycetes are associated with more than 200,000 species of plants. Basidiomycetes are the most common fungal component of ectomycorrhiza. Although some ascomycetes also form ectomycorrhizal relationships. More species of fungi are involved in ectomycorrhiza, at least 5,000. But most are only associated with a single species of plant. Furthermore, the total number of plants involved in ectomycorrhiza is limited to a few thousand.
What roles do fungi play in recycling?
Fungi play a key role in the recycling of many elements. As the primary decomposers in the biosphere, they break down organic matter, including dead plants and other vegetation. As fungi actively decompose materials, carbon, nitrogen, and the mineral components present in organic compounds are released, these elements can all be recycled. During decomposition, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere and minerals are returned to the soil. It is estimated that, on average, the top 8 in 20 centimeters of fertile soil contain nearly 5 metric tons of fungi and bacteria per 2.47 acres, 1 hectare. Without fungi acting as decomposers, dead organic matter would overpower the world and life on Earth would eventually become impossible.
What is mycorrhiza?
Symbiosis is the close association of two or more different organisms. One type of symbiosis is known as mutualism. Defined as an association that is advantageous to both parties. The most common and possibly the most important mutualistic symbiotic relationship in the plant kingdom is known as mycorrhiza. The word mycorrhiza is derived from the Greek words mykes, meaning fungus, and rhiza, meaning root. Mycorrhiza is a specialized, symbiotic association between the roots of plants and fungi that occurs in the vast majority of plants, both wild and cultivated. In a mycorrhizal relationship, the fungi assist their host plants by increasing the plant's ability to capture water and essential elements such as phosphorus, zinc, manganese, and copper from the soil, and transfer them into the plant's roots. The fungi also provide protection against attack by pathogens and nematodes. In return for these benefits, the fungal partner receives carbohydrates, amino acids, and vitamins essential for its growth directly from the host plant. Basidiomycetes, mushrooms, bracket fungi, etc., are the fungal mycorrhizal partners of trees and other woody plants. Zygomycetes, molds, etc., are the fungal partners of non-woody plants. It has been estimated that mycorrhizal fungi amount to 15% of the total weight of the world's plant roots.
What disease is caused by the protist Entamoeba histolytica?
Entamoeba histolytica, a parasitic amoeba, causes amoebic dysentery, an intestinal disorder. Estimates indicate that up to 10 million individuals in the United States have parasitic amoebas, but only 2 million exhibit symptoms of the disease. In tropical areas, up to half the population may be infected.
What are diatoms?
Diatoms are microscopic algae of the phylum Chrysophyta in the kingdom Protista. Almost all diatoms are single-celled algae and dwell in both fresh and salt water. They are abundant in the cold waters of the northern Pacific Ocean and the Antarctic. Diatoms are yellow or brown in color and are an important food source for marine plankton and many small animals. Diatoms have hard cell walls. These shells are made from silica that has been extracted from the water. It is unclear how the extraction of silica from water is accomplished. When they die, their glassy shells called frustules sink to the bottom of the sea and harden into rock called diatomite. One of the most famous and accessible diatomites is the Monterey Formation along the coast of Central and Southern California.
What toxic substances are produced by mushrooms?
The most toxic substances produced by mushrooms are amatoxins and phallotoxins, both cyclopeptides. These toxins act by interfering with RNA and DNA transcription, inhibiting the formation of new cells. The toxins collect in the liver, ultimately leading to liver failure.
What toxic substances are produced by mushrooms?
The most toxic substances produced by mushrooms are amatoxins and phallotoxins, both cyclopeptides. These toxins act by interfering with RNA and DNA transcription, inhibiting the formation of new cells. The toxins collect in the liver, ultimately leading to liver failure.